everybody. Welcome back to another WP Minute live stream. As Jonathan Denwood would say, we got a spicy one today. No, we don't. Listen, this is not this is not the tonic. We are going to discuss AI in Elementor, some of these features in Elementor that seemingly can't be disabled. We'll try to get the skinny behind that today a little bit. Ryan has brought this to attention of the Elementor community, I think maybe largely on Facebook, but he'll fill us in on that. And he sort of pinged me and said, hey, I would really love this to be amplified a little bit. I think it's really causing some friction between agency owners and their customers. And we're knocking on the door of Elementor, and seemingly maybe nobody's really listening or understanding what the real issues are. So we're going to have to talk about that a little bit today, understand where Ryan's coming from, maybe understand where Elementor is coming from, hopefully meet in the middle. Fun fact, because every stream is not left without some kind of excitement, the internet might go off here at any moment. I just got a message. So absolutely worst timing ever. But I'm hoping within 1 hour we can do this thing and have some fun and talk about it. Okay, so we have Ryan Logan and Miriam Schwab. Ryan, for the folks in the audience, let them know what you do with WordPress, what's your agency name, and where can we find you on the web?
Sure, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Sure.
My company's called WP Turned Up, so that's WPTurnedUp.com. I do all things WordPress, so website care, website support, hosting, tech audits, consultations, UI UX audits, pretty much you name it, I can help with it. If I had to say what my bread and butter is, it's being a trusted partner for website care and website maintenance.
Awesome stuff. And Miriam, folks can find you day to day at Elementor.
Right. I am at Elementor. I'm head of WordPress relations here. Joined Elementor 2 years ago when they acquired a startup I founded called Stratic. Yeah, that's where I am, where I'm at.
Fantastic. And I'm going to put this in the chat. We have a blog post that sort of outlines some of the stuff that Ryan was running into issues with. But Ryan, let's just first talk about your day-to-day with Elementor. You've been an Elementor fan and user, I should say, customer, for quite some time. You use it on your agency sites. What's a typical day-to-day look like? Customer comes in, they want a new website, and do you start from scratch with Elementor, or do you have does Elementor help you with that sort of rapid deployment process? Like I have these things built in Elementor already, and I can quickly get the job done. Tell us about how you run the agency and the value of Elementor.
Yeah, so I've been using Elementor since it came out. It changed everything for me, coming from an IT world with loving design but not knowing how to build websites. So it changed the game for me. I want to say that first off. And I'm a huge fan. Still am. It's just this one little nit. But I have two businesses. I have another one where I build directories. And that business requires Elementor, period. It will not function without it. If they come in on that side in that business, I have pre-made Elementor websites that are literally like turnkey. So that's one way. Another way is I can build a site from scratch with either of my companies. I've built hundreds and hundreds of Elementor templates, what I call CSS packages, tons of stuff. So it depends how they want to come at it. Do they want something 100% custom? Do they want something turnkey, like a template? But I can go at it pretty much at any angle for them.
Yeah. We constantly have this debate. This is just a general conversation, but of Gutenberg versus page builders, core WordPress versus page builders. I always seem to see in the page builder world, hey, this page builder's got one more feature. I'm going to go over there. Oh, this other page builder got two more features. I'm going to jump over there. You've stayed pretty rock solid with Elementor. I assume that was a strategic thing. Like over the years, you've been using it since the beginning. You've probably seen other page builders do some cool things, and you were like, I might want to try that. But is there a reason why you stuck core with Elementor for your clients over the years?
Like I said, I love it. 99% of it, except for this issue. I know it like the back of my hand. I like to stay loyal to stuff. I feel like I've shown loyalty to Elementor and giving back to the community. And when I used to be in the Elementor Facebook group, I gave a lot of my time. So I don't want to just throw all that away and just jump ship. Some other builder can do one more feature, or maybe it loads your site 5% faster. Like, I know how to make Elementor sites fast despite some of the issues. I've invested so much time in making Elementor work for my businesses. I don't want to give it up. But this issue could change things. It's creating more issues. Yeah.
Miriam, you have not been at Elementor from the beginning. You sold your company Stratic to them and you joined, and now you're the connection to the heartbeat of the community, all of us WordPress folks. Elementor, have been rapidly building stuff since you joined, at least, from my perspective. I'm not a user. I'm just, somebody sitting on the sideline watching Elementor, compete in this very competitive landscape, not only against WordPress, but other page builders, and probably largely things like Wix and Webflow, which is maybe really where Elementor is, battling it out for features, users, et cetera. What is the general vibe or the general velocity of features? Is AI going to be everywhere for these features? Is it very core to, moving forward? Or, is it making a more, raw tool even better, like just a solid tool that works? And can we start to think about maybe disconnecting these features? And I'll caveat that with, I think we've recently seen Jetpack do this, where now they're breaking it out to all separate plugins, because this is not just an Elementor thing. This is like big plugin thing that happens. People go, oh my God, I got all these features. And then they start complaining about all these features, all these functions. And now even Jetpack is seeing it and saying, you know what, fine. We'll allow you to install these things separately. So it's not just Elementor, but we've seen it with Jetpack as well. So velocity, product features, AI, the center of all of this stuff moving forward. What's your take on how Elementor is evolving?
So first of all, Ryan, I just want to say that I saw what you wrote about this, and I could tell that it came from a place of caring deeply. And now that you explained it, I understand it even more, that you are essentially all in on Elementor. It's a very important tool for you, and you want to stay loyal, but there's this thing that's happening, and I really want to understand more. Like, I know what's happening, but from your perspective, what's happening and why it's become such a pain point for you. But I'll just address Matt's question first before we get to that. But I really want to hear. So Elementor, its our core product is the editor, is the page builder plugin, and it's incredibly important to the company, and it's the center of everything that we do. Over the last 2 years, it's a company that's quite innovative, and so it's there's always a perspective of how can we add more value to our users? Where are there, let's say, pain points? Although sometimes we end up creating pain points, right? But where are there pain points or places where we can add more value? And let's look at creating products around that complement the experience in the editor. You could say hosting is one of those things as well, and wherever people host is fine. But the perspective there was someone has a website. They choose Elementor for their page building experience. It needs to be hosted somewhere. Might as well be hosted with Elementor, and then we complete that package. So over the last few years, you've seen the hosting, and then we have a new plugin called Image Optimizer and AI. The perspective on AI is that overall AI is going to be a very important part of our future, like a lot of things that we do, including the web. So, and when done properly or well, whatever that means, it can really even bolster web creators' abilities even further, right? The idea is, right now I need this type of person, let's say, to do design, this type of person to do this. Well, at some point it's possible that AI can do a lot of that. Doesn't mean that it's going to replace the professionals. That we don't think will be the case, but it will bring additional capabilities to people who don't currently have that. If you use AI at all, you probably experienced that already. People who aren't coders are using it for coding and things like that. And then, it just gives you more abilities. So we want to be part of that trend, part of that future, and bring added value to our users. Our AI product has been out for a bit over a year, but I don't know if people in the company would exactly agree with me, but I would say it's still somewhat experimental because AI itself is new. And so our AI implementation, it can go in so many directions, right? You can see other web products or just general products implementing AI. And I mean, it's just kind of like an endless possibilities. And so it's like trying to figure out where is the best place to apply it, how to apply it. There's the simple, easy stuff like here's text, we'll help you write text. Here's images. Here's some CSS. That's pretty straightforward. But we actually have a dedicated team to AI, and that team is looking to really kind of revolutionize how it can be used in the context of web building. So that's why it's there. Whether everything is done perfectly or even in a way that everyone appreciates or likes can definitely be up for discussion.
Yeah.
So that's the story there.
Yeah, I mean, folks who follow me, I'm not a huge, I use AI, I use Claude, I use it for summarizing, show notes, ideation, things like that. It's never a finished product for me. And I also really struggle with the adaptation of AI into web design because maybe it's just because I am a more experienced user. Give me 12 themes to pick from and I'll just do that. And then I'll finish the 10%. I would love AI to be able to do a query loop for me, but I still find the nuances of AI just far too challenging. Like the output is never what I'm wanting. And this isn't just Elementor and web design. A product that I use every single day in my podcast and video production is Descript, and they got like $300 million from OpenAI, right? So like OpenAI is a part owner of Descript, and their AI tools are just as frustrating, if not even more frustrating, because they're kind of trying to cram in so much stuff that AI potentially can do for podcast and video editing that I'm like, come on, guys, I don't need this. I just need to cut my timeline up and move things around efficiently. So I totally understand. And at first blush, when Ryan tagged me in this, and I don't mean this in offense to anyone here or watching, I was just like, this is a product decision that Elementor is making. And if I don't see it as something that is urgent community news versus just, hey, this is a feature that they've decided to roll with, and they're going to have to roll with the punches, for lack of a better phrase. They're just going to have to roll with that. And if that's the decision they want to go in, the market, the community will respond by saying, not for us. We need to either find a solution, or keep opening, bug reports. But as I dug deeper, I saw Ryan was much more passionate about this stuff. It wasn't just a one-off complaint on Twitter that was just passing by. So, Ryan, what I want to do is pull up your blog post again. And I know you summarized this on your channel on the video, but I think it'd be a great sort of jumping off point to explain your timeline of events. And as I mentioned to Miriam before we hit record, we're not looking for her to go through this line by line and say, this is what we're going to fix. But she is here to, hear your pain points, and then she can disseminate that with her team, much like I do at Gravity Forms when people complain about the form builder. And they're like, why is this doing this? And I sit there and I listen and I say, yes, I will report back to you once I talk to the development team. So let me pull up your slide or your page. And you can go about it however you want. Ryan, I just have it up on the screen for folks to see, but if you want to just give us the brief summary of timeline, we can start with this.
Do we want to start where I started reaching out to Elementor? Is that what we want to do? Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be under Elementor-based options for bug reports.
Okay.
So to me, I'm not a developer. I know enough to be dangerous, but to me, I define a bug as something that hurts my website and I cannot fix it easily or with help from somebody else, meaning Elementor in this case. So my first inclination is to reach out to Elementor and file a bug report because I don't see it as being a feature and I don't see it as being a complaint yet. It hasn't reached the complaint level yet. So I reached out on GitHub because of two issues. Two major versions of Elementor, 3.2.2 and 3.2.3. One caused issues with Elementor itself, where it crippled it. The other one caused issues with WordPress core, which crippled it for me and some clients. So then I was like, okay, enough's enough. And jumped in GitHub. I started to see what other people were saying, filed a couple bug reports, and I kept getting met with, this isn't a bug. File a feature request, that sort of thing. So while I disagreed, I eventually recently filed a feature request and laid out why I don't think it's a feature request. But if you look at the feature request, the number 2 most requested feature is to make this go away. And that is, I think, 4 votes away from being number 1. The number 4 most requested feature, 11 votes from the top, is for this to go away. If you combine those two, which maybe Elementor is not doing that strategically, but if they were to combine those 2 tickets, this by far almost double is what everyone wants the most. So to me, the proof is there that that's the most requested feature that people want it to go away. And I'm not saying like go away entirely. I'm just saying don't keep slapping it in the face on like every other screen I go into. Like put it somewhere responsible in air quotes. So that only left me with one other recourse, which was what I was directed to do by Elementor, which was to file a complaint. So I recorded a video talking to support about this. And in the end, they said, straight up, we are not going to address this. This is how we advertise this feature to our customers. So at that point, I've got no other recourse but to either stop using this tool or reach out to Matt Medeiros. So that's why we're here.
What a terrible plan B.
Now you know where you stand. Like,
yeah. My last hope will be one. Yeah, that's it. But that, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, it's definitely more detailed than that. I got, there's more we could say, but
okay.
I put the time in. Let's put it out.
So I think with regards to how you reached out, so I don't think it really matters. Like, I'm not going to explain why it's not a bug, because the bottom line is that you were trying very hard to get the point across to us about how painful this was for you. And so opening the feature request is actually the right thing. Okay, actually, I will explain it because maybe other people are listening and it's like useful information. But a bug generally is seen as unexpected behavior from something. So I don't know what example to give. If you use our pop-up feature and, in a certain browser, it's not popping up, that's a bug because it's supposed to, you know what I'm saying? From the product's perspective, the AI pop-ups are supposed to happen. So they're not like a bug, but the experience for you and others clearly is a negative experience. So that would be our feature request, like stop making that happen for us. So just FYI, people, if that's interesting too or useful information. And you tried a few directions: the bug, the feature, and reaching out to customer support. And yeah, I see that it wasn't exactly addressed there. I just want to understand from you. So, and what they said about advertising, it's not like the best. I don't know how they phrase it. It's not like the best way to say it, but the goal, not the goal, the approach of Elementor is to create products that people find useful, hopefully, and within the products where it's relevant, like it should be contextual. The other products may be promoted. It's a business decision, right? Like in the end, Elementor is a business. So, but it also needs to happen in a balanced way where it's not causing distress or disruption to certain workflows. So it's always trying to find that balance. So I can tell you that that's what the team is trying to do. Your experience shows that for you that is not the case, and also other people are saying that about the AI. So just want to explain like why that's presents itself that way. And the idea is for it to be contextual and helpful, hopefully.
One of the things, Ryan, I think you brought up in your video was, look, I would even accept this if only the webmaster saw it, right? Or the roles, even if it was the admin. And maybe potentially a middle ground is we can just disable that view by role, so that if it's an editor or contributor or whatever role we assign our customers, that maybe that it can be hidden in that. I think you presented that. I think that's a smart idea. Did you have any other ways of going about maybe solving or couching this issue that, look, it's okay to have it, but as long as I can maybe hide it for certain roles?
Yeah, I mean, the holy grail is to be able to toggle a switch that says, just let's turn this off. As people that build websites, we don't want, there's this thing where you don't want clients to get in there and screw up their websites. This just adds another layer of they might screw up their website way more. Like,
Okay.
so we need, like, so if I build a website and entirely for a customer and I deliver it and I do maintenance going forward, we're good to go, right? Now we've introduced this AI to them that it's like candy. Like, what's this? Elementor's telling me I need this. It's going to make everything so much better. And it's too tempting to have it out there.
So what you're saying is, like, one of your clients could be using a site, will be using a site, and you want them to be editing or whatever in a contained area, and then suddenly this thing pops up and it's like, we think you should have this new area, right? That's what the AI does. And you're like, no, but they could easily click on it because it's there and it seems interesting.
Yeah, it's like,
I would break the site or ruin the site.
Yeah, in my post, I break down all of the insertion points that I found within like 5 minutes, and there's a lot.
Okay.
You're presented in so many different places, different things. But yeah, like the holy grail is just let us turn it off. Keep it in your homepage section of Elementor. Keep it in your add-ons, whatever. That's fine. But just don't keep putting it in the face of people. That's holy grail. Number 2, role-based. Maybe I want someone on my team that's an editor that's skilled. Let's let them have it if they want it. Turn it off that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that makes sense, because isn't the pricing for AI, is it a credit base where you have a certain amount of requests?
I think so. Yeah, I think it is credit based.
Yes, per user. Yep.
Per user, right? So if all of a sudden somebody's in there who they don't even realize that it's like they're using up credits, they're like, pretty pictures of cats. I'll take 12. Yeah.
Right. No, you're right.
It's just dangerous. It's just dangerous.
Yeah, I see that. Your perspective is really important. Like, as an agency owner who has different levels of people or whatever who are using the sites, and also you're building and maintaining many sites. And I know I had an agency for 13 years before I founded Stratic. So I know that we don't want our tools to cause friction in any way, because there's enough time that's being demanded from us for just the general work that we don't want to have to battle against something that's going to cause us, charge us more time in the end. So I totally get that. Elementor does listen closely to customer feedback, and you can see that in the product. Performance became a very important focus. It was always important, but it became a focus, and that was invested in, and a lot of gains were made there. Accessibility became a focus, and just generally, like, product features, it's based on what we hear from users. So this has been heard as well, just so you know. And it is in the pipeline to create a way of disconnecting from that. I'm not sure that the first version of it will be exactly how you want it to be, but I definitely would love to hear your feedback after it rolls out, but it will offer that. So stay tuned. I'm not sure in which release it's going to come out, but this feedback was heard, and you'll see it. Then it will be, at least this is what this was discussed. It's not like a toggle type of situation.
Great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I want to, I noticed my internet bouncing in and out, so just a reminder, I might just disappear. But but I think we've made some strong headway here. Yes.
Continue the conversation without you. Who needs you?
Yeah,
anyway? Oh,
yeah.
you. Oh no, but you're the guy who fixes everything for everyone.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that stream might just mysteriously end, but I think that sounds great, and we made some serious progress with this discussion. I want to frame size of Elementor, and this is a conversation that I was having yesterday when people say, why doesn't WordPress or Automatic just do this? Just do this, and it'll be fixed, right? And it blows my mind that there's a lot of folks that don't understand when you have, let's say, Automatic, 2,000-ish people. Elementor's probably 1,000?
No, we're 350 or something.
Oh, 350. So 350. Still lots of people. It's not just a small little freelance 1 or 2 person indie product shop that many of us are used to in the WordPress space, because a lot of us came from that, right? We were all there 15 years ago building plugins with our friends, Pippin, stuff like that, in the hallways of WordCamps. And it gets lost on us that when you enter serious business, with air quotes, there's checks and balances, man. There's checks and balances. There's lots of other decisions. And sometimes things like this can happen. Movement is not as, the velocity is not as fast as it once was when it was just a few people with a few hundred installs. When you're talking millions of installs and a product that is a plugin, semi-SaaS, hosting, and a massive community, these things can take time. But you all just had not a state of the word, but you did like a recent presentation, right, on what's the future of Elementor. Was it last week or
yeah,
or
the live show we do every quarter to show what happened and what's coming.
Yeah. What is for those that missed it, is there 1 or 2 bullet points of what's coming, and just maybe if you can kind of frame, I don't want to say why things take so long, but if you can frame what, the process to understand, like maybe what is happening internal to Elementor that we don't see on the outside.
Okay, so definitely. So it's funny, the different ways that people see the velocity at which Elementor works. Because when I talk to partner type people, like other people at other companies, people from add-on companies like Elementor extensions and things like that, they praise us for our speed. Actually, I spoke to someone from another company, from like a very large company, and he said what a pleasure it was working with us as opposed to like some other groups, let's say, because we move so quickly. So, and I'll explain why it is fast, but also might not feel fast. So, okay, you've got a plugin, which is essentially like a platform already, used by, we just reached 17 million active installs. The vast majority of whom are using the free version, okay? Like vast, right? That's the business model. It's weird open source business model, but it works. Thank God. So vast majority on the free. So you've got like 17 million, and let's say that's more people than 17 million because some of them have more than one site, right? Like you, Ryan, you have hundreds. So who knows how many people that is? And so we're getting like a lot of input in a lot of different places. And challenge number one is filtering it out and prioritizing it, right? Because everything is important to someone, but as a business, like we're 350 people, so it's more than a lot of other WordPress businesses, but still not endless resources. We have to make sure that we're rolling out features and doing things that make people happy, that are right for most users or whatever that means, and also for the company. Because in the end, also in order to keep producing a high quality product that really brings people value, we have to be able to support ourselves, right? We have to make money. It's not going to work otherwise. And so that's why also you see these like kind of upsell promotions to contribute to the health of the company, which contributes to the health of the free product, right? In the end, that's most of our user base. So when, and as someone who joined Elementor 2 years ago, and I can compare it to like other organizations or like my own past experience, I can say that it's amazing how fast things happen there. Like the teams decide to do something and then they start doing it like really fast, and then it's done like pretty fast. So it might not be apparent to the outside, but there's a lot of that. And then take into consideration, there's not just like the new product releases, there's a lot of work that has to go into the ongoing stability and quality of everything around it. So there's a lot of bug fixes always. It's just the nature of the game. Security patches. We're very diligent about that. We have a very excellent bug bounty program with PatchStack. By the way, if anyone, I can't say anything about that yet. Sorry. Anyways.
Oh, we were just going to break the news here, Miriam. Come on.
No, they're fantastic, and they're great partners. So there's all the stuff around it that has to happen simultaneously. So not all of our resources can go to new product releases or whatever. So that's with regards to that. What's coming next? Well, Ryan, hopefully you'll be happy or happy-ish with this AI tweak. There is some interesting stuff going to be happening around AI in terms of making it more robust for whoever wants it, right? There's a new product that we're launching, actually. It's called Send by Elementor. It's quite different than what we've been doing until now, but it comes to complement the activity of our website users and owners. It's kind of like a CRM emailing type of thing, integrates with WooCommerce, so like to help people do that. And it's going to be like a simple implementation and that kind of thing. So stay tuned for that. It's quite interesting. What else? Yeah, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Page builders, I don't, as somebody who tried making a page builder plugin before page builders were cool, and while I was still leveraging the customizer, which was the biggest failure of my life, I don't envy where page builders are these days, because everybody wants more. Everyone wants, more affordable, cheaper, faster, better. Give me all this stuff. And you are quite literally building UI for code, right? It's like, I am making this user interface so you don't have to type things. And if you think that's easy, I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. But this is, I don't envy it, but at the same time, it's good to hear that Elementor is listening. Obviously, you're here, Miriam. If you weren't listening, you would not have shown up. So I applaud you for that. But big product, big reach, 17 million plus, and hosting with the builder, and now potentially this new product rolling out. It's becoming that one-stop shop for agency owners like Ryan. Ryan, are you still positive outlook of where Elementor is headed? Are there other features or things that you're looking for that you want to take this opportunity to maybe ask Miriam about now? Your overall thoughts on today's conversation.
My first thought was when you talked about, I've heard about Send, and I kind of wish that AI was rolled out that way. I feel like it could have
separate,
like as a separate, yeah. I think it could have been. I think there could have been some advantages of the Elementor in doing it that way. Don't need to go into it here, but I just think it should have been separate from the start, especially because you said it's experimental in your words. To roll that into core because it's experimental.
I don't think the product's like status is not experimental, but I think AI is experimental. And
okay. I thought you meant
no. So that impacts all products. I think like what you described, Matt, in the script, right? It's like almost there or something, but it's never quite enough. And that's my experience as well. It's like let's say I'll use AI to like get me from 0 to 1 and things. I find 0 to 1, like having a blank slate, to be very, very painful and hard for me to overcome. But then whatever it produces, I like redo it, it's practically, or like I use it somewhat as a foundation. So I think I totally hear what you're saying. I think there's a lot of hope and optimism about AI that this is just me speaking. Okay, now I'm Miriam Schwab. There's a lot of hope and optimism around AI that might be overreaching, like what it can do yet for us, or it can do it, and we just haven't yet learned how to apply it well, right? I just saw this hilarious video someone made of like AI, like with AI of ballerinas, and oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Like they have 3 legs, and then they turn into like a woman with jeans, but then they're back again, and like that's how AI sees things, right? It still doesn't align with human brain. So totally. So yeah, so there's that, and I hear what you're saying. I think we all think
12:35
AI
p.m.
can do more, brings more than it does yet. We know that we have a lot of users using AI happily and excitedly. So, and there's always that, like with a 17 million user base type of situation or website situation, you have such a diversity of user types and opinions and perspectives and use cases and like you name it. We try, yeah. So, but I think your perspective, and I think you represent a lot of agency owners that needs to be taken into account, and it will be in one of the upcoming releases.
Yeah, excited for that for sure. It's just choice. That's all I'm asking for is a choice.
Totally. It makes so much sense, and I think your feedback is very good, and the feedback of others about that.
It always surprises me and nothing against your perspective, Ryan, but it surprises me that as tech folks, we all we don't relearn like history because we all know like AI is experimental and we don't know where any of this is going. And I don't fault companies for trying to jump on to that because that's like the bet that tech companies always make is like, let's try to be the first ones there. It sucks when it's not working out for folks like Ryan and his user base. But at the same time, it's like, this is tech. And I think everyone's trying to get to the next thing. Like, remember NFTs? Like everyone's like, we're going to do an NFT. And that didn't last too long. Bitcoin still stands, but all these other coins are like, I don't even know what's happening with that stuff. And it's like time and time again in software, people are always trying to, skate to the puck before, it's really planted on where it's supposed to be going. So it's wonderful to see, investments and advancements from companies like Elementor or even like Descript, but at the same time, like some of the stuff is never really ready, especially AI.
Yeah. I think, if you've been involved in products or anything like that, so I think it's easy to stick with like what you've been doing until now and just, keep doing that. It's like a safe space. But I personally think innovation is exciting, right? And in the WordPress space, what's really been nice about WordPress is that anyone can be innovative, right? Anyone can create a plugin, bring something to the table and things like that. So a company with such a wide reach like Elementor, essentially every new product that's launched by anyone, not just Elementor, is experimental. And what I mean is how, we do research, we, investigate, and we do as much homework as we can before, but also in order to not take forever, things get launched. And then how do people react to it? And on the one hand, you have to be very careful about launching new things. And on the other hand, if you're too careful, you get to analysis paralysis situation where you don't have innovation. You don't open up new opportunities to users because you stick in the safe zone. And that's not so interesting. So it unfortunately can negatively impact some users, but on the other hand, it can bring exciting new opportunities to other users. It's always about finding that balance. But I think Elementor's perspective is we want to innovate beyond like the usual for us, whatever's been usual for us, create, new product lines, new business opportunities, also new opportunities for our users, being very cognizant of how it impacts the users while also taking risks, right? In the end, when you innovate and you launch something new, you're taking a risk, but that's what makes things exciting, I think. Yeah. I mean, we don't want to cause damage, obviously, but like we want to keep things interesting and keep bringing innovation, not just to Elementor, but to WordPress. So, there's that as well.
Yeah. Ryan, anything else before I was going to go into a few questions, but anything else you want to add or?
Yeah, I'm not opposed. I just want to say I'm not opposed to the AI. I use it every day. Not Elementor AI, but other AI tools. I love it. It's just when it starts causing issues and I can't turn it off. That's the whole. That's totally all that I'm saying. I'm all for innovation. Yeah. Love Elementor. Love certain things that AI can do, but it's just when it breaks things, then it creates more work for me instead of less.
Totally.
So the whole reason I joined the Elementor movement was to have more productivity, save time, do all that stuff. And when it starts not being that, then got to, got to.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that saving time thing, I just spoke to one of our partners, and he said something that I thought was really interesting. I never thought of it. He said, when we started using Elementor, and we've been using it for all these years, it saved us so much time that we could then put towards our families, our personal lives, which I thought was very touching. It's a really nice
100%.
perspective. And if that's the value we've been bringing until now, that's the value we should continue to bring.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just going to jump into some questions. Omar says, what's the main issue about using Gutenberg versus page builders like Elementor? What are your thoughts about using a VA as a web dev? I'll mainly use sites for affiliate purposes. Thanks. Well, that would be a huge topic to cover, like Gutenberg versus page builders. I would say like core WordPress is, if you want to stick strictly to core WordPress, as affordably as possible and as core to the WordPress experience, then you'll use something like the site editor with either the core WordPress itself or adding the Gutenberg plugin on top of that. It's going to have far fewer features than something like Elementor, that's for sure. But you maybe don't have to go and learn a whole page building system, but you will get more with something like an Elementor or another page builder. Thoughts on having a VA as a web dev? That's a tough one. You want to vet whoever's building your website for you as closely as possible. Definitely spend some time making sure they know what they're doing before you give them the keys to your website. This is an argument I see happen all the time. Code generated by Elementor is really bad. Is it? I don't know. I'm not a developer. 17 million sites running it. I would imagine at some point, if it was really bad, we'd have you wouldn't see the growth of Elementor as it has been. Miriam, is there anything you want to add to this? I'm sure this happens all the time, but go ahead.
So I think, well, it depends what people mean by bad, right? But I'm going to address the bad of overloaded DOM, like front end code generated by Elementor. Over the last, I don't even know how many releases, our dev teams have been working on reducing the DOM. And if you go to developers.elementor.com, it's a great site for developers that people don't always know exists. Unfortunately, it doesn't get enough attention because someone on our team named Rami writes very thorough posts there after every release and every beta, explaining the technical things that have been done or are going to be done to the product. So you can see there that massive reductions of our DOM, the DOM code generated have happened. And I think will continue to happen. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think the process has ended. But opportunities have been identified by our teams where we can reduce the code and optimize it. So hopefully you will see that in the front end.
Fantastic. Whoops. Andrew Palmer says, genius move by Elementor to offer built-in hosting. How are Elementor addressing the various issues around accessibility?
So actually, I think accessibility has also always been something that got attention, but it got increased attention over the last year, and tons of accessibility improvements have been made. I don't know if you saw, but Amber from Equalize Digital did a very thorough analysis of the accessibility of a number of page builder tools. And it was like 7 or something. I don't remember how many it was. And we came in second. And even since she wrote that report, our team has fixed a number of the things that she flagged there. We want to be first, obviously, and everything, but coming in second for such a big page builder with so much happening in it, I think we're quite proud of that. So it's something we're very aware of, and it's getting attention and is improving all the time. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm just looking to see if she had it on her blog or
what
not.
She did was, she had a podcast about it where she reviews it, and then there was a form there to fill out to get the spreadsheet with the results.
Cool.
But I think you can see it in the global Facebook, the Elementor community on Facebook, maybe. I don't remember where. She said she's going to write a proper post with the results,
cool,
sharing it soon. So, but FYI, that happened, and the results are available if you fill out that form on her blog post, wherever that is.
Awesome. Cool. And thank you for addressing this feature request. I agree, as a web agency, it's important to disable this feature for our client websites. Awesome stuff. No other questions happening. I'll let folks sort of sign off with their call to actions. Ryan, well, first, we're feeling fairly satisfied with the next
Yeah,
steps?
I'm feeling hopeful. That's my word.
Okay, you can feel hopeful, and I totally understand. The proof is in the pudding when you see it. Also, Ryan, feel free. I'll send you my email address.
Okay.
Just like email me afterwards with feedback, like once we release it, and I'll try to remember to email you when it's released.
Okay.
But I hope you'll be more somewhat happy with it, and if you think that it should be different, I want to hear from you. So
Okay, we'll do.
Ryan, anything else? Any call to action you want folks to visit? Websites, social medias?
Yeah, I would just say wpturnedup.com for anything WordPress related. Love to chat with you.
And you'll be growing your YouTube channel even more.
Yeah. For more positive things.
More positive things, yeah. Oh, quite the playlist there, Miriam. Send it to the team. He's got quite the playlist.
Use your YouTube channel for more positive things. When you want to complain about something, go to Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Miriam.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt,
Miriam. Yeah, no problem. Miriam, where do you want folks to go to say thanks?
I guess you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, at Miriam Schwab. I'm wherever. You can reach out to me there.
Fantastic stuff. Everybody else, thewpminute.com. Thanks for watching today. If you've not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video, helps the algorithm. And as always, get your favorite 5 minutes of WordPress news every week at thewpminute.com/subscribe. Bye-bye.